2019 commentary has taken by far one of the most interesting turns. I mean, it feels like 2016 in a way with all the drama in amongst the community. But one thing that's been the most interesting is how many times we've had the same type of drama repeat itself. I mean, we had the James Charles situation that happened back in May, which was almost followed up by a Deji situation, and then Slazo. All situations of which ended up with one side accusing the other side of something extremely horrible, only to find out that after a week or two it was wrong, either things were taken out of context or there wasn't even any evidence for it in the first place. But this time round, unlike the first two, a lot of people seem to be doubling down on this. A lot of people seem to have felt like that they must continue to double down on the fact that Slazo is apparently a rapist. And that's what we're going into in today's video. So sit back, tighten those straps, and get ready for the ultimate clowning of ImAllexx, the failed internet sensation. ImAllexx is by far one of the most interesting commentators to ever have lived upon this platform. I mean, in the past year and a bit, he's jumped from topic to topic, changing his mind and opinion on most things. From being a very heavy defender of James Charles back at the beginning of 2019, to turning on him the moment Tati attacked with false allegations. But by far one of the most interesting things that have come out of this year is how much he supported Slazo initially, to the point where they were doing collabs together, doing podcasts together, and just hanging out together when Slazo was off in London. But recently, it seems to be that all ImAllexx wants to do with Slazo is completely backstab him and continue to try and throw him under a bus time and time again. And even after Slazo responded, debunking 99.9% of the actual accusations that were put against him, ImAllexx just continues to push this one agenda he has. And initially, his response to the video is pretty interesting.
Hello guys, I want to try and put this in as a concise way as possible, but this is my response to Michael and Slazo's video. There's a limit on this, so if I'm brushing over things, I'm trying not to. I just want to put everything in here in a place that is easy for people to be able to get to. I want to make a statement because of the fact that obviously I came out and supported Che when she posted her twit longer, and obviously now Michael's video has come out where he's debunked some of the things that were put in there. First of all, I already knew that some of the screenshots that were used in Che's twit longer were jokes. I was very much aware of that, but I never had an issue with that, and I want to make that clear. Stupid jokes are stupid jokes. I don't think that's the problem. My problem with Michael was him admitting to doing things that he knew Che may not have wanted to do and being incredibly forceful and almost demanding, which he admitted to doing in his video, which for me is still disgusting. I don't believe he's innocent. I don't think he's innocent at all. Che may not also be innocent and may have hid stuff and used jokes to try and maybe push a certain agenda, but at the same time the stuff that Michael admitted to is stuff that makes me not want to be friends with somebody who is capable of doing those things, even the things he admitted to. I really hope he gets help, because nobody should just carry on doing what he did, and he should try and improve himself. But I personally don't want anything to do with somebody who even managed to admit to some of the stuff that he had apparently done. And that's literally it. That's how I feel about it. I never accused Michael of doing anything, but after what's come out, I really just don't want anything to do with him.
So let's deconstruct this a little bit. The first point that I would like to counter is how ImAllexx says that he already knew that some of the messages were jokes. But in this tweet here, the tweet where ImAllexx responds to Shay's initial tweet after reading all the messages that she put out in screenshots and everything about the situation initially, ImAllexx specified that those messages are vile, but never actually said that some of them are jokes or what he would like you to believe. Second off, Slazo didn't admit to anything that's technically bad. The only thing he ever admits to in the entire video is by being a bad boyfriend.
I have plenty of evidence from very early on in the relationship where she clearly made no intention to wait until 16. Had her first kiss, our teeth hit each other's, neither of us knew what we were doing, and I was willing to call it quits there when she pulls my hand down and says to touch her, which is a pretty long way from how she portrays it in her version of the story. In fact, she was actually the one who brought up the entire idea of doing anything in the cinema. It was her idea, and I had no reason to believe she wasn't as in on this as I was, so I'm not sure why she made it look like this.
By being a bad teenage boyfriend, which happens a lot. But ImAllexx, trying to be manipulative here, has made it sound like he was being forceful. He admitted to being forceful to Shay, but that's never what Slazo said. And another thing, ImAllexx, you did accuse Slazo of multiple different things. In the initial post you made was you accusing him of the assaults, of the allegations that were put against him. And here you are again, is practically accusing him of being forceful still. Because the thing is, and this is fact, Slazo didn't admit to being forceful. All he admitted to was being a bad boyfriend, which as a teenager, within your first few relationships, that is going to happen regardless of what you try to do, because you have no idea what you're doing. And so you not being friends with Michael because of those few things that he admitted to, aka admitting to be a bad boyfriend, is absolutely disgusting of you, because it's like you're holding an unnaturally, stupendously, impossibly high standards for him. That you're not going to be friends with him just because he had a bad relationship back when he was 16, back when he had no idea what he was doing in a relationship. Like, that to me is just not right in and of itself. You thinking that he's not someone to be a friend with and that he needs to get help because he shouldn't continue on being that way. You're talking about him admitting to having a bad relationship at the age of 16, an age where teenage relationships are mostly controlled by hormones, an age of which where most teenagers have no idea what the hell they're doing in a relationship and therefore fail hard a lot of the time. After continuously doubling down on everything that happened before Slazo's response, it just ended up being to a point where multiple YouTube creators started to output videos on Alex. The first person to really get chased was Cav. What also ended up happening not long after Kavos' initial video is that the Baited podcast, which is Keemstar, Colossal is Crazy, and Tommy C got back together to make a podcast on ImAllexx because of what he had done recently being extremely terrible, and the fact that he seems to have no remorse for what he did and doesn't want to apologize for what he did. It just became a big situation where the entire community started going after ImAllexx. After the Baited podcast aired, YouTubers known as Blowblacks, Nick Diorio, and a few others managed to get in a call with ImAllexx, which according to them, the entire call was mostly just ImAllexx speaking the majority of the time, with Blowblacks, Nick Diorio, and a few others not being able to talk too much to get a point across. Ultimately, this ends up in Blowblacks posting a video by releasing what seems to be ImAllexx's intentions with this entire situation, which seems to be to throw Slazo under the bus for what he did, quotation. Then ultimately we had Nick Diorio, who actually interviewed Slazo. Now, one of the annoying things that came from ImAllexx is that getting contact to Slazo was really hard at the time, but the thing is, a YouTuber who only had a few thousand subscribers at the times managed to get the attention of Slazo and then actually do an interview with him, asking him some of the key questions and points that have been used against him over and over again. It's absolutely stupendous how much it was just debunkable. And even in that interview Slazo did with them, Slazo admitted to things that he necessarily didn't have to, but ultimately in doing so proved the point more that Slazo is the person to believe over Shay. Ultimately, this entire situation just has to been a continuous back and forth of he said, she said, but Slazo's more on the believable side just due to the fact that, well, he's shown that Shay lied a fair bit, and Shay is yet to prove otherwise, as well as Slazo's. But on top of that, a lot of Slazo's points that he brings up sometimes were absolutely unnecessary to bring up. They're absolutely unnecessary and embarrassing, like just saying that you're a bad boyfriend. He never needed to admit that, but he did, because he's a good person like that. Like, this entire situation just has the stigma of going after Slazo, just going after him as much as they possibly can to try and deplatform. But you see, the one big problem with this that everyone on that other end of the situation need to wake up and realize, including Hojin, including King Annie, including Bluestank, Wesner, everyone who was involved in it. If this is affecting you mentally, think about how this shit's going to affect Slazo, how it's affected Slazo, how it's going to affect him in the future. Like, yes, Hojin posted earlier that she's going to go commit to the death. Not even joking, by the way. And it seems to be something that seems to be real. I'm not going to say it's not. I'm not going to say it is. At this point, I want them to look and realize that it's not about them. This entire shit, the shitstorm that's going after them currently is only going after them because of the shitstorm they sent towards Slazo. Hoj, you're only in this mental state because of people attacking you. Then tend to realize that the people attacking you are going after you because of the role you played in going after Slazo. I'm not saying that her being in that mental place is not good, but now that she's in that mental place, I want her to look at Slazo and realize that this was potentially the same place, if not worse, that Slazo was in when the entire internet accused him of sexual assault and rape at the age of 19. There are going to be thousands upon thousands of people that will never see him as being a normal person anymore. There will be many people for years to come whom all they see from Slazo is a sexual predator or a rapist, as people have presented him to be, which is absolutely disgusting, but unfortunately that's how it is. If anyone learns anything from this entire situation, is to not jump the gun on something so serious. When it comes to serious topics against like rape allegations and sexual assault, take the time to find out everything you can and listen to both sides of the stories. Make sure you know if what's being shown to you is in context or not. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. This has been made in a slightly different way than what I normally make my videos, but I thought it'd be an idea to try out as well. It was a bit of a fun edit for me. It's taken a fair bit of time, hence the reason why so much has happened since I did the first clip to now. But anyway, if you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, and hey, there's something new to the channel. You can now join as a membership. Be much appreciated if you do that. Anyway, till next time, see you.